I tried something different today. How's it going, guys? Happy Thursday. Let's try this again. Thanks for that. Thanks, Megan. Yeah. Well, there you go. Let's try this again. So I have a whole new setup. Elgato Wave just released their update, which allows you to put effects onto their microphone through the mixer. So I wanted to put a little bit of a denoiser, a little bit of a EQ overall. But yeah, how's it going? Happy Thursday. Let's try this again. Let's see if my second angle works. Here we go. Look at that. Now I have two angles. There's the microphone. There's the wave link. But today I want to be talking about, where is it? There it is. Today I want to be talking about what is essentially a side hustle. What is a second job? What is the passion economy? What is some way to turn your passion into profit? And I actually believe that you do need to have something like that, something that is beyond your main source of income. And there is no quick way to set up something that it will instantly start making tons of money, but there is a process, and if you start doing this kind of stuff, it will help in the long run. Hey Roger, how's it going? Happy Thursday to you. Elbow cough. No, it's that guy. That's what that guy is. It was something like that kind of came up where there's been a lot of expenses happening overall, just in general, from our day-to-day, which are typically, lately it's been higher than usual. But because I started the YouTube channel, because I have the ability to take on other side hustles beyond my main source of income, there's moments where just a random check will appear from either Amazon, or I'll get an affiliate link payment notification. And these are nice surprises because they're not part of my regular monthly budget of what is allocated for certain different things. So it's one of those nice bonus surprises that comes in. And actually, I'm very thankful that these have been set up, and it took me 2.5 years to get to this point where I have that secondary income that's coming in. And it's not just from YouTube specifically, because YouTube alone, I would say, only brings in a couple $100 a month, and that's after me doing over 100 videos, just kind of going at it and trying to be consistent nonstop for a year. I've probably put in hundreds of hours making the YouTube videos, if not more. And then it's all the side stuff, all the Twitter, on the Instagram, and now shorts, and just putting in all that effort. So it's not like it's the same as if I was doing a full-time job, because I could make more money if I was doing something else, like trying to get more clients, trying to start a secondary business. But I actually feel that YouTube is kind of a business, and it's a long-term thing. And like everything else, there isn't a quick way to set something up. And this isn't my first YouTube channel either. So it's not like I picked up the camera one day and just decided to make YouTube videos and it just worked out. I had 2 or 3 channels before then. One was a tutorial channel, which did okay, but I started it before YouTube actually was doing any kind of monetization, and I gave up just as they were starting to do that because I moved into something else. So it's not doing as well as this channel in terms of subscribers or views, but there was definitely a community that was starting to build around it. But I didn't want to do that again because it wasn't my passion anymore. So this is a discussion that I've been having recently with quite a few people, and we're just talking about how that extra effort that we put in after our main jobs, after our main source of income, how it really does come in clutch, especially right now, especially when the inflation is going gangbusters, the gas prices are going nuts, the food prices are starting to get crazy. Like just going to the grocery store, like it's just there's no limit to what can happen in the next little bit. And so having that side income, that side hustle, and it takes a lot of effort. It takes time. It takes time away from me doing other things. But here's the golden area that I think everyone should look for. The key thing is to turn your passion into profit. Sofa is gone. Well, at least this one. New sofa has arrived today. Anyways, but that's a whole nother thing. Come on, look at that. That's it's right there. So what was I saying? I was saying stuff. Yeah, so when I decided to do the YouTube channel as it's in its current form, I wanted to do something that I was like super passionate about, something that the thing that I can't shut up about, the thing that I would talk about anyways, the thing I talk about with my friends, my coworkers, just anyone that would listen. My wife, if she, God bless her heart, for listening to all the stuff that I talk about. So I literally wanted to do that, where it's like, I knew that I was going to be talking about it. And that's why I started this channel, this secondary channel, because I'm at the point where I'm passionate about the like finances and understanding money and making sure that other people that I know understand money. Because if I see another freelancer that isn't charging accordingly or isn't putting money away properly, like I just feel like reaching through the phone and slapping them. It's like, stop doing that. Like you need to take care of that stuff, because the moment you realize it, it's probably going to be too soon if you realize it on your own. And thankfully, I've had lots of people throughout my career, peers and mentors, that would tell me these things, that would say like, dude, you need to do this kind of stuff. That doesn't mean I listened, but there was a moment where people said it enough when I'm like, okay, hey, wait, I should probably do this. And so that's why I want this whole channel to be exactly that, where people it may not resonate right away, it may not click right away, but if I keep doing it, there's going to be a moment where they're like, it's just going to click in. And once it clicks in, you just become obsessed about it. And so it is turning that thing that you can't shut up about and trying to monetize it. So when people talk about that, monetize your passion. And it's not as simple as I'm just gonna start making money from the thing that I enjoy doing. And it could be anything. Like for me, it's photography, video work, post-production, cameras, computers. Like I love that kind of stuff. But it could be literally anything. What is the thing that you are doing outside of your main source of income that you find pleasurable, that you find enjoyment in, and that you could set up a camera and talk about it? And it doesn't have to be super high production value, because like anyone that hasn't picked up a camera before and then picks it up, everyone sucks at it. I was terrible at it. But the only way to get better is to be okay being that fool in front of the camera and, talking about the thing that you love. But the interesting thing is, when you're talking about the thing that you're passionate about, the truly passionate thing, not the thing that you think you're going to enjoy, but the thing that it's almost that thing that is, you're too embarrassed to tell anyone outside of that knows about it. That's the thing. And if you can find that thing, and then, set up a camera, and if you don't want to set up a camera, if you don't want to do the YouTube thing, write blogs about it, go on Medium and start writing about all the things that, you thought it was going to be, but then it turned out to be this, and how you solve that problem, because people are probably going through the exact same thing. And there are ways to make money off of that. And it starts slow. It could be once a week, it could be once a month, but like if you just do it, even when you're not motivated to do the secondary part of it, if you can put that extra effort in, there's a point 2-3 years down the line where some money will start coming in. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but it can grow if you keep with it. because everything with the passion economy, everything with monetizing things that you're interested in, the longer you keep doing it, the more you're going to become very proficient in talking about it and communicating very well about it. So it's about finding that thing. And I just want to show it, like I do the video stuff. I talk about this constantly. And I just want to show, because I'm super impressed with this. My wife went out, and this is her passion project. This is her thing that she loves talking about. She has her dream journal. She made these books. She has a meditation journal, and I'm like super proud. And like, this is what she loves. And she went out and figured out how to make this. She learned how to use what's the program? She learned how to use InDesign. I don't even know how to use InDesign very well. And she made these books. She found a way to get them printed with minimal cost, and she's putting them out there. And like, for her, that's her thing, because she loves this kind of stuff, like having these kind of things. So I'm super proud of her. I think she's done an amazing job, and I'm telling her all the time. And I wanted to, I just wanted to, I'm going to show that. There you go. Yes. Believe it, because I'm super proud of everything that you've done with it, because this is impressive. This is impressive. This is impressive. Anyways. And it's one of those things where she just had that idea and did it, and just went out and did it and kind of figured it out. And then she got on a roll where she hasn't launched any of these things, so maybe that's why she's like, why are you talking about this? But anyways, the point is that she is finding some way to do that without having to necessarily make video after video around it. But it's something that she wanted out there. Like, she had this idea that she wanted something like this, and it wasn't out there, and she just created it. But she figured it out. She spent the time to figure out how do you make the program. She spent a lot of hours designing the entire thing inside. Like, it's all, I can't show you because it's just in case I don't want to get in too much trouble. I'll show you the covers. But yeah, like, she designed these covers. She figured out how to use Photoshop to the point where she just, anyway. And that's what I mean. And this was part of why I wanted to talk about this, because it's impressive when you have a full-on family, you have a full-on job, you have things that are occupying 90% of your time, but then you just decide to do it, and you just want to get it done. Like, for me, and this is where you can get to as well. For me, like, I've gotten to the point where that camera was on payments, and that's been paid fully by the YouTube channel. The camera that I'm looking at right here, paid fully by this YouTube channel. I ordered a new computer, paid for by the YouTube channel. Like, this is money that I didn't have to earn above and beyond with my regular payments that are coming from my clients. And it doesn't matter if it was a client or if it was a full-time job, because like, these are payments that came in that are above and beyond, and paying for those toys that are above and beyond what I'd be comfortable spending. Because every month I'm putting money away to savings, to investments, to this, and then that money comes in. That's my fun money. That's the way I treat that. Where I remember even when I was working full time, and these were like 10, 12-hour days plus travel, 40 minutes one way, 40 minutes back, sometimes taking the train, I would still take on other clients or side hustles or jobs above and beyond, because I never liked being in a fixed budget. That always kind of drove me it drove me a little bit crazy, where it's just like, if this is the only money I have and I can count it for the next 12 months, I need to make more money, period. And there's two ways to go about it. There's three ways to go about it. Ask for more money, but you'll only get a minimal raise, and that's the company's prerogative that you're working for. Find a new employer, or start a side hustle that could lead into it being full time. But that takes time. So you have to put in that commitment. There's that meme that goes around. It's like they just started this thing and they're like, how long is it going to take? It's just like, it could take years. But think of it this way, where some people think it's crazy to spend 5 years building up a business or some kind of other thing that is your main income. Some people think that's crazy to spend that amount of time, but they don't think it's crazy to work 40 years for a salary and have not much on the other end of it. Like, there's a guy I follow on Instagram, Jim. Oh, geez, I can't remember his name now. What's his name? I'm gonna have to find it. But he has one of these things where he always plays up. He always plays up this moment where he's sitting there pretending to be an office worker. So he's financially independent. He's teaching people how he's done it, and he's done it through not crazy ways. He's just been patient. He started back in the late 90s, and he's finally gotten to the point where he doesn't work. But he has this one video that keeps kind of repeating or doing a variation of, where he's like he looks around, he's like looking at my coworkers, and none of them are financially independent, realizing that what they're all doing won't get them to financial independence, no matter how much they make. And salary is not going to get you to that point. You need to have those investments. You need to have that extra money that you can put into those investments. And that should be the way you funnel the machine. So if the money that's coming in every month, if that's already kind of allocated for all your expenses and you have a little bit left over, you need to find that extra bit on top that you can then double down on investments. Because the sooner you start that and the more you can put in and the longer you can do that, the quicker you're gonna be able to leave that 9 to 5 thing, because a salary will never do that. Even doctors that make $300,000-$400,000 a year, they're not gonna, that doesn't make them wealthy. That makes them rich in the moment, but the moment they stop working, there's no other income. So they have to put their money away into those kind of investments. And that's why I believe that we do need to have these side hustles today, more now than ever. And if you haven't started one, make sure you are doing it. And I know that a lot of people here have YouTube channels and are starting them, and they're starting to kind of push those ideals. But it has to be something that you're willing to commit to for the long haul, to make that side hustle, and make sure that it's something that you're stupidly passionate about. But yeah, Jason, how's it going? Happy Thursday to you. Yeah, $300,000 a year is not enough. I've read many stories talking about how a doctor, they get their salary, $300,000 a year, but they're also coming off of like a $300,000, $500,000 student loan. Then they buy the luxury car. Then they have to have a big house because they're a doctor. And then their payments are just crazy, and they end up living paycheck to paycheck, which is just insane. So you have to become financially literate, and a lot of that starts with having that extra income, because that's the machine. The machine is literally, I should have made a graphic for this, but the machine is literally, can I draw on something? Anyways, the machine is literally earn your income, and you take that income and you pay for your expenses, and then whatever's left over, you put that into investments, which comes over here. And then and it's either starting a company or buying into a company. So you can start a company, that's your side hustle, that's putting money towards that, buying the gear, buying whatever, or you buy companies, which is stocks, where you buy stocks into companies. And if you understand it well enough, you can buy dividends, you can buy ETFs, you can buy a whole bunch of stuff. And then so all the money that's on this side, which is the earned income, feeds the machine that will make you wealthy. This can make you rich. This will make you wealthy. So having that side hustle just helps feed the machine that much faster. And like, this is one of the things that I'm obsessed about. That's why I made this channel, because it's just like, I can't stop thinking about it. Like, my wife and I have so many discussions where we're talking about anything, literally anything. And I'm like, well, and then I find a way to make it about money, make it about investing. And then just my heart just goes, why? Why are we here again? And just, I can't stop thinking about it. And it's almost the same as me thinking about post-production or cameras. It's just the same way where my brain just goes, if I'm looking at the cameras and I'm looking at this stuff, it's like, and that's why it's like I spent almost 2 years not buying anything, no computers, no nothing. I only bought literally what I needed. And it wasn't until the YouTube channel started and the side hustle started making extra money where I'm like, okay, I'll buy that camera. It'll pay for the rest of this. It'll help pay for that. But like, otherwise I'm like, I just held on to the money and I kept stuffing it into places that needed to go. Though, with 2020 coming around, I had to eat into all those savings. So now I'm kind of doubling down onto keep going with this whole thing. So like I'm thinking like, what else can I do? What other things can I offer of value outside of the thing that I'm passionate about? Like I love doing this kind of stuff, but for people to be interested in it, it has to be worth something for them. So my stuff isn't entertainment based, it's more edutainment, I think, kind of. We all find that fine line, but yeah, it's like, well, like, what do you guys think? How are you finding your endeavor into these side hustles? Because I know a lot of you that are in the chat right now, and I know that you do have these things. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about putting in that extra effort? Because you know what, sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I filmed these 3 videos. I'm like, maybe I should just hire an editor to edit these things for me. But then I'm like, no, I'd rather keep that $500. I'm just going to stay up a little bit later tonight and I'm going to finish that. Or if I can't post it right away, I'll cobble it together over a couple days. Because sometimes I get really busy and I have to do the stuff that I have to do. But there's a moment where I haven't done it long enough. I haven't posted a video, and then I'm like, I start getting anxious. Like there was a 6 weeks stretch from end of January until almost middle of or end of February where I didn't do any YouTube stuff because I was just too busy. It was just crazy amount of work. Yeah, you have to build your fun money. It has to be that. Like, you can't feel bad about having fun, but if you can bring in money that is ease of spending, because money can be spent very easily, but if it's causing you stress, then you have to be able to find a way to pay for that thing. And it's one of the things that my wife and I joke about, where it's just like, we want to buy this thing, we want to do we want to finish the backyard, and we're like, okay, we'll let YouTube pay for that, or we'll let these books pay for that. And like, we're trying to establish that mentality that it's okay for these things to make money. Because that's the other thing, where a lot of people like, oh, I don't know if I should accept money, I don't know if I should take money. It's like, yes, it's okay, it's just money. And if people are willing to give you money, that's on to them. No one is forced to buy anything. No one is forced to sign up for anything. No one is forced to do any of these things. But as long as the product or the thing that you're providing, if you have a good conscience about it and you feel good about the thing that you're going to deliver, then the money receiving part should be easy. So I agree with what you're saying. It's partially why I started app development. Fantastic. Yeah. Man, there was a whole stretch from like 2006 to 2012 where I was doing app development and really trying to keep up with it. Especially when the iPhone App Store came out, put out a few apps, and it's just my brain isn't wired that way. I tried and tried and tried, and I think I tried 3 times. It's the same with Side Effects Houdini, which is a 3D app. My brain just does not work that way. So sometimes it's like, it's just not for me right now. Maybe later. I don't know. I just couldn't click with it. My brain doesn't work that way. Kudos to you, because that is some That is some bonus level side hustle stuff that you can do. Yeah, that's right. Depending on the lifestyle, and doctors have to live up to that lifestyle for some reason. Not all of them, but there's definitely a lot of people that fall into that. That's right. It is stressful creating something that you love. You worry how much money it will bring in. But the thing is, once it's out there, it's out there. Like with these books, once they're out there, they're out there. Then let them go, let them do what they're going to do, and they'll attract the right people. Like my wife both have the same thing where we don't know how to market ourselves. We don't know how to market our own things. I am completely fine building whole campaigns for other people. I understand that because it's like there's a goal, there's a budget, and I work within it. But for myself, I'm like, how would I do it? How would I market for my own stuff? I don't know. That's right. It's those moments of discipline that make the difference. Pushing through the tired nights. It does. Oh man, like discipline is such, the consistency, the discipline, it is the thing that will help you push through it, because even when you're not motivated, those are the days that you still need to show up. You need to be consistent, and that's where discipline is the key difference between following through on something and making it happen. And there are things that I've started in the past where there's a moment where it's just like, okay, it's not working. It's not going to work. And I'm okay with that. And I think the rough timeline for a lot of things is 36 months. If you put your effort into it, and only you know if you've put your full effort into it. Like I can't say that I put my full weight and effort, and I have not leaned into the YouTube game at all. I would probably say at best I was at 50%, because I know I can make more videos. I know I could do more tutorials. I know I could do stuff outside. I know I can do, the vlogs if I wanted to. I know I could do those things, but it's not necessarily all the things that I'm interested in. So I don't want, I want to ride this fine line of it making it a full-time job. I want to build a library of evergreen content, or mostly evergreen content that isn't necessarily tied to specific software or a time of year or anything like that, but it's more conceptual, where it's the same core ideas that filter down over decades that are still relevant and build upon everything that was done before. So I know that, if I review a piece of gear a year from now, that video is not really going to be relevant. It may be a little bit, but 3 years from now, no one's going to care. No one's going to care about those videos. So I'd rather have, it's almost like a royalty thing, where if these videos stay up long enough, they can keep making money for the next decade. And if I keep going, then the back catalog also becomes just as important as all the new stuff. So that's the kind of thinking with this. Someone told me recently, respect yourself enough to get paid for the work you do. Yeah, respect yourself enough to accept the money, especially when people are offering it to you. That's another thing. It's okay. Accepting money should be easy. Asking for money should be easy for your services. There's that song where it's just it costs that much because people don't have superpowers. It's it takes that long because it took you that long to learn that skill or whatever you're doing. And I don't understand why, if you can do something faster, why someone should pay less. There is the analogy of Picasso being at a restaurant and a lady comes up to him. I may have said this last week or the week before. I can't remember. So a lady comes up to him and she's like, "Oh, aren't you Picasso?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she gives him a pen and a napkin and says, "Draw me something." And so he scribbles on the page, and then he's about to hand it to her. And he kind of pulls it back, and he says, he asked for a crazy amount of money. I think, like, I don't know. He asked for an insane amount of money. And she said, what? That only took you 5 minutes. He goes, yes, it took me 5 minutes. And if it was only a matter of a pen, a napkin, and a short amount of time, you would have done it. But because he had the skill, he could demand that. And it's okay to ask for money that seems ridiculous for the amount of time, because if you're charging just based on your time, then you shouldn't be thinking that way. You shouldn't be like, well, this is going to take me 3 days, so I'm going to charge you, 3 days worth. It's like, what if something that would take someone 3 days, but you're able to do it in a day? Should you charge for only 1 day? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I think that's partly why I think side hustles are a really good alternative to trying to get paid for like client work and whatnot. Like, if it's essentially starting your own business, whatever it happens to be. It could be tiny, it could be small. Some people make crafts, some people make like drawings and they sell them on Etsy, stickers, you name it. Like, there's just, it's an endless amount of things that people are able to make. But it comes down to, you can charge whatever you want. No one's telling you how to do it, and no one's telling you how much to charge for it. So it's that freedom that comes with it. And that's what I like about the way I've set up YouTube, where I've had some conversations about sponsors and affiliates, but I just don't like the idea of having a schedule or a script that I have to read from and make it a commercial for someone else. Because that's essentially what we're doing. So anytime someone has come to me, I ask for a crazy amount of money, and they're like, "Oh, that's way too much. Other creators charge less." I'm like, "Fantastic, work with them. I'm okay with that." But like, if you want to work with me, I'm going to make you a commercial. I'm going to make it look amazing, because I can't help myself. Once I start something and I'm all into it, and I'll make it look fantastic. But I don't want to spend that kind of effort unless the money's there and I'm not thinking about the money. And that's the other thing, where you should definitely be charging more. If you're busy, you should be increasing your prices. And I've said that many, many times. It's kind of hard if you're working full time. Like, I remember asking for a raise when I was working in the corporate world, and it's tough. Like, you have to prove and you have to explain, you have to give them reasons why they should give you a raise. And it's just like, because I just want it. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I want. That's what I feel I should be making right now. And it's just like, there's always a compromise where it's like, well, we can't give you what you're asking for, but, and it's just like, oh, that drove me nuts. So you have to start a side hustle. You have to start something that can start bringing in income. And if you find something that clicks, if you find something that you're really resonating with and people are responding to, lean into it. You lean into that and it will grow, and you will be able to make a business out of it. Because there's lots of stories, and you just have to put in that effort once you find something that clicks. And that's where the 36-month timeline comes from, where if it's not really working at 36 months, pivot to something else, try something different, refocus it. Don't try doing the same thing if it's not working. And like I said, I've done apps, I've done other YouTube channels, I've done, different ideas. My wife and I, we started a company called Pillow Hogs. We're gonna make all these pillows because that was the rage back in 2009. We're going to make these huge oversized pillows that were just like, very decorative and like almost the size of a bed. And but it just didn't work out. And it's like the amount of effort and the amount of money it would have cost to make those huge pillows just became like, okay, that didn't really work out. We started a food truck with my brother-in-law. We had a waffle. It was a huge food truck. We took an RV, we converted it. We put in like $50K into that. We did 2 summers with it. It was fantastic. We had a blast. but it wasn't making the kind of money that we are thinking that it would make. And so it was one of those things where we knew it wasn't going to be fruitful. It was called Sweet Joanna, and we thought it was fantastic. And the waffle, like, they weren't like little waffles. These were like mammoth, chunky, with like, it was like ice cream and bananas, like a banana split on top of a waffle. They were delicious. It was fantastic. And then they had spiral potato. It was crazy. It was fantastic. And we went to all these big festivals, just had fun. There was a lot of work, like just setting up, prepping all the food, cleaning up afterwards, and just driving to some of these places. So yeah, we've tried lots of stuff. And just because one thing didn't work out does not mean that you should just be like, well, I'm just going to stay, not try anything else. Keep trying, like, keep going. What else did we do? 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 We did like a whole bunch of different other ideas. Like even this, even these. We just continue. Like, we feel good about the products that we're putting out there. And if the market's there, then we're gonna find those opportunities. We're gonna find I'm gonna find all those awesome opportunities. And hello El Jefe, how's it going? 10-second recap. We're talking about starting a side hustle. Ultimately, it's needed in today's day and age. And if you can find a way to turn your passion into profit, that's literally what we're talking about. And I'm just going, and we're just going into opportunities and how we've gotten to the point where those side hustles can bring in that extra money that could be the difference in helping you have fun money, or it can become even greater down the road. And especially with prices raising faster than any employer would be willing to up wages, and that's coming too. And it's gonna be this crazy cycle where wages are inflation is gonna keep going up, which is going to bring up the cost of just other commodities, gas especially. And then once gas starts going up, then the prices to transfer and transport goods to places is going to go up. Then the companies are going to need to charge more for those goods because their transport costs are going up. And then those costs go up. And then the employers or the employees are going to start asking for more money because the cost of those goods has gone up. So now they can't afford it. So now they have to ask for more money, which in turn makes the company charge more money, which brings up inflation. And it's just this stupid cycle until it finally calms down where, but like that could keep going. The conceptual videos always engage from a unique perspective. I learn something useful or interesting every time. I love that about you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Because like these are the kind of videos that I want to make solely based on this is what I'm thinking about. And usually I have a discussion offline with some friends and it just turns into a deeper thought. It's like, oh, really? Yeah, it's like this isn't something that's talked about from that perspective. And when I do sit down to make a video to conceptualize one, I do try to think of it from a way to add to the conversation, not just to I don't know if you guys watched any of the Mac Studio videos today where it's just like, hey, I unboxed this thing, I got it, and then they just read out specs. It's like, that's okay. It's like, yeah, like, anyways, it is about finding that unique perspective that you're able to bring to the table to talk about when it comes to YouTube. But there's also like, what is something that you like doing that other people will want to know, especially if you find like kind of hangups, and how do you resolve that? How did you resolve that? That wasn't necessarily something that you found online, but like, oh, you found this and it worked, or you found a version of something that worked, but then you're able to do it even better. And that's the way where you can continue that adding to the conversation, adding to the information that's out there, where it's just like, this technique worked, but when you tweaked it like this, that's the thing that just that's what took it off. And it's about always building on that whole, it's always building on that idea where it's just like adding that little bit of nugget, standing on the shoulders of the people that came before you to see a little bit further. That's what we should all be kind of striving for and trying to achieve, because that's what we got to do. Got to help each other out. And someone made a comment the other day where it's just like, you know, they thanked me for a video that I made, and they're like, and they asked like, why do I do it? And I'm like, because so many people were kind and generous with their time to me when I was coming up, that I feel like doing the same thing for a lot of people in the same way, where I hope they watch this video or the videos that I make on the main channel, specifically the freelancers, because that's my that's where my heart is, where in terms of the passion for the kind of work that I want to do, that's where I want people to feel like I've done the homework for them, I figured it out, I want to kind of pay it forward. I don't know if that makes sense, but like that's the kind of mentality where it's just like, give it away freely. That's why I haven't made a course, because it's like the course that I want to make, I want to have it so enriched with value that it really is one of those things where it's like when people buy it, I want them to be like, wow, I got so much out of this course. And I think that's why it's like, I don't want to just do a rehash of like, here's how you use Final Cut Pro. And I know it won't be like that, but like that's my biggest hurdle with creating a course. Like, what would I do that would be so insanely of value to anyone buying it? Like, I can probably do something that's scaled down and just put it on Skillshare, because then it's like a monthly thing and they're already paying for it. So it's a side product, a byproduct of it, instead of trying to charge a specific rate. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's the next step. That's the next side hustle that I'm thinking about. So once I'm able, once the Mac Studio comes in, I'll make that decision, because I tried to do it on the Mac Mini screen record on my main machine. I don't want to do it because it's I can't update it anymore. So I'm using an older OS and older software. So how about you guys? What would you say is your main side hustle? Let me know. Let me know in the comments right now. Like, what is the side hustle? Is it YouTube? Is it something else? Are you guys doing a course? Are you guys taking clients on top of your clients? Like, that is a side hustle too. Like, when I was working full time in the corporate world, I would still be taking on clients outside of that work, because I was able to do that and I enjoyed doing that kind of stuff. And it would usually be motion graphics, it would be editing work. Rarely would I do a shoot, because it would be hard to work on those shoots during the day. Like, most people want to shoot on a Tuesday, and it's like I couldn't do that. I would see if they would be able to do it on a Saturday or Sunday, or figure it out. But yeah, taking on extra clients, taking on and just thinking of these ideas. And my wife and I always try to think of ways to mitigate the cost, because we don't want to buy, like with these books, my wife found a way to get them printed on demand through Amazon. And so the cost is zero for us, essentially, just the time spent to design these. But they're professionally printed, they look fantastic, they feel good. Like, this is a real book. Like, it's no different. Like, this is what you would find at Indigo. But we didn't have to buy 10,000 units, get them printed and then shipped over to Amazon for a fulfillment center, and then have it sit there and wait for people to buy it. If these books become wildly popular, then maybe we can do that to make a little bit extra profit on top. But like, we're trying to see what sticks. We're trying to see what things work. Like even with every video that I post up there, like I try different thumbnails, I try different approaches. I try different topics to see what sticks. And there are so many things that work, and then sometimes they don't. Sometimes there's videos that fall completely flat. That's why I started this channel separate, because every time I did a video about money and freelancing, it was just like, wow, just done. But if I knew that if I put them all in one place, then the people that are like-minded in that they're ready to hear this kind of stuff, they're ready to have those conversations, then it will attract that kind of crowd. And that's the thing that I like. It's like, there are people in my neighborhood that they talk about golf, they talk about cars, they talk about their lawn. Like I don't care. But like when I find the neighbors that they talk about stocks, I'm like, yeah, you want to come over for a barbecue or beer? Just like, I just want to talk to them because I want to pick their brain. And like, what do you do? What are you thinking about? What are the hurdles? What are the things that I should avoid? Like those are the things that really come down to like that interest me right now. Working on an online course for wedding photography. Nice, bravo. That's fantastic. I hope my side hustle can pay for the FCPX course. I think you will. I think that will. I got to make it first. So you'll probably be making way more money by the time I finish it all. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. That's and there's a notification. Wait, I didn't. My screen should be popping up with it, but it's not here. I don't have it. No, I didn't put it in. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I just feel like smiling. Thank you. Like this. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. Okay. And that's what I was talking about earlier, where when 2020 happened, and it happened to all of us, literally, there was a moment where we're all like, this isn't good. Like we all had that I know that I did. I had that panic moment where I'm like, so it was mid-February, and my entire calendar for 2020 was booked. I had travel for large shoots. I had large events that were planned, like big car unveilings, award shows that I was going to do the screens for. That's where like so much of my clientele works in these large space. I worked for Toyota, for Lexus, for it's the same company. I've done for Hyundai. I've done where are the other ones? Audi. Like we had so much planned, the amount of work, and like I was like, this is going to be the best year ever. And then the funniest thing happened. Like literally all that work went away, and there was this really big moment of panic where I'm like, that's not good, because there was shoots, there was just so much work that was lined up. And like there was already a client that was like, we need this done in about 6 weeks and we're willing to pay you double time. Like there was just like the amount of money that was forecasted was fantastic. Gone. Like all of it. Like the whole year was gone. The whole year, my bookings was gone. And I had just started the YouTube channel. So it wasn't even monetized on YouTube yet at this point. But I think I was already at I think I was already at like 800 subscribers or something like that. And so it's like there was a moment where I didn't know what to do. Luckily, like I did reach out to a whole bunch of people, but like even those people, all their work went away. But you know, because I already had networked, I had already done a lot of I already did have connections. there was a lot of work that I was able to do because of the skill set that I had that allowed me to do a lot of post-production and, the fix it in camera or finesse it in post kind of stuff. But it was all for like online, like all the award shows went to online. So everything was scaled back. But I did have to start dipping into my own savings and some of the investments. So when it comes down to it, having this side hustle now, and I leaned into it more because of that, where I wish I started it sooner because it could have been paying for more at the time. And I would have had a better understanding how to make those videos, how to, schedule it, how to prep it, what to focus on. Because I still was waffling on different video ideas back and forth at that time. Where now, like, I don't even think I had the fix it in camera, finesse it in post as the brand of the whole channel at that point. I think it was just like, it was just my name. And I was still trying to figure it out. Yeah, everything. It's all exhausting. We have 3 kids and they take up the bulk of our time. So Instagram is becoming a bigger source. Oh, that's how you do that. I can do that. I've been trying to figure out how to do that for, oops, where'd it go? There it is. Sorry about that. So Instagram is becoming a bigger income source. So you're making Instagram money. How do you do that? Yeah, that's a good question. I've never leaned into Instagram. I just post there. Like YouTube is my main focus, and I just kind of extra on Instagram. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Companies are sending products in exchange for posts, videos, and photos. Nice. And if they send good stuff, then that works out even better. YouTube, photography, consultations, one-on-one instruction. I'm going to reach out to you, Jason, after this, because I want to chat about that. Because that was something that I was thinking about. Should I do consultations? Should I do one-on-one? I've had quite a few people reach out, quite a few big clients reach out because they saw me on YouTube. But like, should I open it up where it's just like anyone that wants to book some time with me would be able to do that? So, but again, it's like, I think I don't want to be selling time. That's the thing I'm trying to avoid. I don't know. I'm going to chat with you. I want to get your opinion on that. So I'll reach out afterwards, Jason. Took it about a year or 2 of consistent posting. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out consistent posting on anything but YouTube. YouTube is the only thing that I would say anything remotely consistent on. But it does come down to everything. Well, there you go. I'm going to reach out to you as well. I'm going to reach out to you. I did not know that. I did not know that. I thought you were just constantly busy buying houses. Yeah, it's so when it comes down to the whole aspect of bringing in that extra money that's above and beyond the money that you're already bringing in, like unless you're already rolling in it, then you don't really need to do it. But the whole point is we can't keep working constantly for the rest of our lives. There has to be a point where we get to start enjoying it and enjoying the things that we do. And if you can get to a point where you can turn that passion, that thing that you'd be doing anyways for free, and if you can find a way to monetize it, like sign up make sure you have a Medium post or a Medium page where you can write articles on there. They pay for people reading your articles. So if you don't want to be making YouTube videos or posts or, dancing on TikTok and making 60-second videos, you don't need to do that kind of stuff. There are many ways to monetize the thing that you're super passionate about. So what are you passionate about? Go out and just start documenting it. As Gary Vee would say, document everything and then put it online and try to, and you'll find companies that are within your passion niche that will be like, they'll want to attach their name to your brand. So their brand will want to be associated with your brand, because if you are truly passionate about it, it comes across so quickly and so genuinely that that's the thing that you love talking about, that it's infectious, that people want to see more of that. People love having that feeling like, wow, someone loves this as much as I do. Because when I see other people as excited about something and they just nerd out and geek out about something, like how many YouTube channels are there just on like comic books or Smurfs or knitting or the Tesla, the Cybertruck, iPhones, gear in general, flowers, gardening, farming, you name it. Like there is a channel for every single niche, and it's not oversaturated, because I jumped into an oversaturated niche, the photography and Mac niche. And like I found a nice happy place in here where it's just like I enjoy talking about it, because like this is the stuff I'm going to talk about anyways. And if my channel wasn't doing as it's doing right now, I would still be doing it. Like that's the weird thing about it. And if I wasn't even on YouTube, I would still be talking about it. I would still be interested in it. I would just find other people to talk about it. But it's actually easier to find people that are just as obsessed and passionate about something on the internet. And I've connected with so many of you that are just as bananas about the stuff that I'm bananas about. And like, so I'm the camera plus post-production plus Mac plus lighting plus finances and plus like any other geeky stuff. Like that's me. Then you know what? There are plenty of you guys out there that are just as interested in this stuff. So it's like my channel is a mixed bag, but the financial stuff just didn't fit on there. But yeah, that's right. Knitting and Smurf knitting. That's how you make gold. That's what Gargamel told me. Gargamel told me, yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Have a great weekend ahead. If you guys are having March break, enjoy the rest of it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right.